Welcome, everybody. This is our 6th episode of Fireside. Brendan, how are you feeling about today? Excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
We now have even better recording and lighting equipment today, brought about by our father, who decided to give us, or lend us, I should say, a recording device and a lighting source for today. So we thank him very much. Today we're going to bring you 3 more facts about 3 other presidents. We know that there's a lot of Grover Cleveland fans out there that are following our Zachary Taylor Project Instagram page right now, so we're going to help them out by giving you guys a quick fact about Grover Cleveland today. Also, I've been hearing there's a lot of Washington fans out there, so we're going to also give another Washington fact as well. But we're going to start off with a guy that's near and dear to my heart. Call him Handsome Frank, our 14th president, Franklin Pierce. What do you have about Frankie Pierce, young hickory of the Granite State, New Hampshire?
During his presidency, really 2 main things happened. The first, the Gadsden Purchase, which has parts of Arizona today, and we got that for $10 million.
It's a lot of dollars. Completed the contiguous United States with that purchase.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was in 1854 or 1853, but it says 1854 on that, but it says 1853. So, and also the Kansas-Nebraska Act was put into law, and that led to leading Kansas, which led to the Civil War.
Starting off with Franklin Pierce, this man is pretty well educated. He was actually friends with the famed American author Nathaniel Hawthorne, author of The Scarlet Letter, an early work of American literature at Bowdoin College. And, you know, he was a pretty smart guy, but when he had his hat in the ring for president, he was a dark horse candidate. No one really expected him to go as far as he did, and he didn't even expect it in himself. It took the Democrats at the convention in 1852 49 different votes before they picked him as their candidate, and when he was elected, he was the youngest president up to that point at the age of 48 years old. Maybe he had a little something to prove when he decided to go out to his inauguration without a prepared speech on paper. Rather, his 3,329 word inaugural address. Memorized it and said it all from memory.
Wow.
That's a lot of words. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I can't memorize like 10 words straight.
I can't spell some words.
Want to do a spelling bee?
Yes. And welcome back to the Fireside Spelling Bee, everybody. Let's see if I can spell basic words.
Cat.
K. A. T.
Reciting 3,329 words in an inaugural address. It's pretty tough. It wasn't the longest inaugural address out there, but it's pretty close. It shows the mark of a pretty intelligent gentleman in the White House. According to a study from the University of California a few years ago, they estimated Franklin Pierce with an IQ of around 135. That is well above the average.
I think I got 125. Nope. Weird flex, but okay.
Where did you get that from?
FreeIQTest.com.
Thank you, Free IQ Test, for giving Brendan false hope. Another fact about President Pierce's inauguration, you know how during the oath they say, "I do solemnly swear."
Yeah, like an oath.
Like an oath, yeah. He said, "I affirm," not swear. Franklin Pierce never explained why he said affirmed.
Maybe he
Maybe
just
it's
didn't like to swear.
Unlike our friend Andrew Jackson. You could check that out in our second episode, which we'll put the link right here. Pretty good technological editing right there, I think. Check it out. And now we're on to our 22nd and 24th president, Grover Cleveland. All right, Bren. So, Grover Cleveland, anything you have to say about that?
Grover Cleveland, one of the big things that happened, actually not too much happened during his presidency in both of his terms, but probably the biggest thing that happened was the Interstate Commerce Act. It was passed to make sure that all railroads charged reasonable and just rates, and the Interstate Commerce Commission was created by the law to oversee the railroad industry, and it was the first regulatory agency ever established by Congress.
He vetoed the most bills of any president up to that point. He had like 400 vetoes in his first term. Zachary Taylor was just like, I'm not going to use the veto unless I have to. Grover Cleveland's just like,
vetoes?
I think it'd be very easy for us to just say that Grover Cleveland was the only president with 2 non-consecutive terms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to say tonight. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Of course, we're not going to do that very basic presidential trivia fact. Of course, we want to do some deep digging here at Fireside for our Fireside fanatics out there and Grover Cleveland fanboys. Let me take you back to 1863. Grover Cleveland, a young lawyer, a bachelor in Buffalo, New York, having the time of his life, building a great reputation, and doing very well for himself. And then July 1st comes around, and the army comes knocking at his door. Cleveland's name is pulled out of a hat, and he is drafted into the army. But Grover Cleveland is like, no, I don't want to go fight in the war. I'm not really feeling it. Not my cup of joe, really. I don't want to really have to run around that much, that type of stuff. He takes advantage of a clause which basically states that you can pay someone to serve for you in your place. He effectively decides to dodge the draft by paying money to a substitute. It's not the last time that presidential candidates will be harboring problems about their draft dodging. So, through different political connections, Grover was able to find George Brinsky, Polish immigrant, sailor, works on boats as a handyman, doing manual labor, who, would basically fight for him. Bren, I know you speak a little Polish sometimes now. With all the time off you've had, you've kind of looked at learning a little bit about the Polish language. Give it a Polish word.
Jabłko.
Jabłko.
That's an apple.
Apple. Can you spell apple?
A. B.
Apple.
A-P-P-L-E.
Good job.
Yeah. Thought I was dumb.
And it was actually a very good connection, considering that George Brinsky was a young guy, didn't have a big family to take care of, and was just eager to fight. So the deal was made between Grover and George. Luckily, George Brinsky did survive the war, only injuring himself a little bit in a wagon accident in Virginia a couple of weeks after he gets into the service. Let me give you Grover Cleveland fans a warning now, because I read this source that I am quoting from doesn't paint Grover particularly in a great light in this situation. The way it came out was very didn't give Grover the benefit of the doubt, really, of anything. George went back to work after the war, doing a lot of different jobs on ships again, as he used to, and other manual labor. But he found that his injury that he sustained in the wagon accident during the war was not helping him at all, and it's actually hurting his labor and hurting his ability to do his job. He had to actually quit what he was doing, and as a result, he had to go to different poorhouses and basically just scrape by to live. Matters were not made better by Grover. There was actually a point where George Brinsky went up to Grover Cleveland on the street, and Grover Cleveland was not very receptive. George Brinsky was kind of on his own during his suffering, and he passed away in 1887 during Grover Cleveland's presidency in a poorhouse in New York, struggling to make ends meet, debilitated by injury, and giving interviews basically to anyone that wanted to hear that substituting for Grover Cleveland was the worst decision that he'd ever made in his life. I don't know that much about him, but I know one of his nicknames was Grover the Good. And just hearing that story, it's like, makes me feel a little sad, a little bit upset.
Yeah. I feel bad for George.
Listen, I want to give Grover fans every opportunity, though, to tell me the good things. Grover the Good. I want to hear Grover the Good. Comment below, please, and tell me a little bit more about Grover. I want to learn a little bit more. It's a learning experience. This whole thing is a learning experience, after all. So, and now on to our fan favorite of a lot of presidents and just people. GW, father of our country. Big guy.
G-dubs.
George Washington.
George Washington, the leading commander-in-chief in the Revolutionary War, led us to victory. Continental Congress said, "Oh, you're going to be the first head of state." So he said, "I'll be called Mr. President." They're like, ooh, people thought it was going to be like super long, dumb names. But no.
His foreign policy was very, don't get involved in other people's conflicts.
Yeah.
Let them work out for themselves.
Yeah. And then,
how well we have heeded that advice today, haven't we?
Nice.
GW, George Washington. He's a man very stoic by a lot of accounts. Very strict, rigid, not a very emotional figure, one would say. But this type of stature that he created for himself may be found to be fostered in his youth. When he was 14 years old, he actually wrote a copy of a rule book named Rules of Civility that survives to this day. So we asked our father to name a few numbers between 1 and 110, 110 being the amount of rules in the book, and he decided to pick number 30, number 10, number 12, and number 23. So we're going to read you 4 different rules out of George Washington's Rules of Civility. Number 30. In walking, the highest place in most countries seems to be on the right hand. Therefore, place yourself on the left of him whom you desire to honor. But if 3 walk together, the middest place is the most honorable. The wall is usually given to the most worthy if 2 walk together.
What the heck is that supposed to mean?
I think it's basically saying, if you think someone is awesome, then you should
your left hand around them.
No. The opposite.
Put your right hand around him.
Number 10. When you sit down, keep your feet firm and even, without putting one on the other or crossing them.
Uncivil.
What do you think about that,
George?
Uncivilized.
Civilized.
Number 12. Shake not the head, feet, or legs, roll not the eyes, Lift not one eyebrow higher than the other, wry not the mouth, and bedew no man's face with your spittle by approaching too near him when you speak. I think that's actually a great rule to keep in mind right now.
That's a rule of civility.
That is a rule of civility in 2020. That's a great rule of civility. Don't talk close to people. Remind you of Seinfeld.
How about you, Jerry? I'm sworn. You sure? Could examine the artwork up close. Maybe I'll try and catch up with you.
Last one from Father's Choice. Number 23. When you see a crime punished, you may be inwardly pleased, but always show pity to the suffering offender.
So it's like, feel bad for the person who committed the crime.
Yeah.
Got him.
I admire you, Brendan, but I'm on your right side. Gotcha. What do you have to say about this, George? Before we're done with this fun fact, let me quote George Washington's final quote in his Rules of Civility, number 110. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. We can learn a little bit from George there. Be true to your mind, your gut. Don't sit cross-legged because that's uncivilized. And a little discipline can go a long way. Perhaps even leading a nation to prominence. Keep that in mind on this Fun Fact Friday. Those are our 3 facts for today. Again, to my Grover Cleveland fans out there, okay? Please don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to spit some facts here, okay? But I want to hear your truth, so of course, comment below this video, give us some Grover the Good, and email me, so perhaps we can even do a Storytime Sunday about Grover the Good. Email address again, Cameron@theZacharyTaylorProject.com. I'm looking forward to hearing a good Grover Cleveland story. I'd love to share that, especially since he is born in New Jersey,
the Garden State,
and passed away down the road in Princeton. So remember, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, the Zachary Taylor Project, and share this video with anyone that would be willing to watch it or be interested in it. We're having a lot of great feedback from our fans, and we really, truly do appreciate everything that we're getting. We love that you're involved. So our website and social media outlets are down below in our description. Check those out for some more content. We also encourage you to go check out the newest episode of Taylor's Tales by Sam Hutchison, a very amazing series using the video game Empire Total War to showcase different parts of different battles. His newest episode is about the Battle of Palo Alto. Please check it out. First battle of the Mexican-American War, and the first that set Zachary Taylor off into stardom, into the stratosphere. So, very, very interesting video. Go check that out as well. On behalf of Brendan and I, we'd like to say thank you, and we'll see you next time.
not much going on, but
gotta get the microscope to see that one.